Welcome to the realm of intoxicating flavors and head-banging beer reviews.
It's time to give Tripping Animals another try. What's up, everybody? It's the Ginger Yeti, and if you saw my Charged Cherry video, you know I was not happy at all with that beer. But as I was at the beer store the other day, excuse me, how crude. As I was at the beer store the other day, I saw another Tripping Animals beer that seemed like it would be a nice one, and I picked it up. And this is called it's called Year 6 Floating. It's a sour ale with peanut butter and jelly. And it's got this crazy tripping frog there. Their artwork on their can's always cool. I'm like, all right, I'll give Tripping Animals another chance. I know they've made a lot of good beers, but the last one I had just wasn't it. Got home, was looking at the can, and realized this is a 3-way collaboration. So I'm still going to have to go find just a straight-up Tripping Animals beer. But we're going to review this one anyway. So this is, like I said, Tripping Animals out of Doral, Florida. Mortalis Brewing out of Avon, New York. And Kings Brewing Company, which I don't think I've ever heard of before, out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Didn't even know there was any breweries in Rancho Cucamonga. So it's a 3-way collab. And 6% alcohol on the can here. It says a lot of things that I can't read when I turn it upside down. Brewed and canned by Tripping Animals Brewing, Doral, Florida. Name, Year 6 Floating, 6% alcohol. This is a collaboration with our amigos from Mortalis Brewing and Kings Brewing Company. It's a sour ale conditioned with peanut butter, raspberry, strawberry, and blackberry. Contains peanuts. I just saw Nutmeg to Pomelo do a I can't talk tonight. Do a kind of like a comparison review of 2 peanut butter and jelly kind of style beers. And it was Drecker and somebody else. I can't remember what the other, was it Mortalis? Somebody, Drecker and somebody. And they sounded like some pretty tasty beers. And this sounds like a tasty beer. Although the peanut butter and jelly beers are really hit or miss. Sometimes these breweries nail it, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're real berry forward, jelly kind of flavored forward. Sometimes you don't get any of the bread at all, and sometimes the peanut, like it's just all straight peanut butter and there's no real berry flavor at all. So maybe these things are kind of hard to do. Now, Zool Brewing does an amazing job with their PB&J mixtape. I would be so happy if this tastes like that. I picked this beer up at Rozi's Wine House for $6.35, and I'm going to try to open it and not stick the price tag in it. On Untapped, it gets a 3.80 with 525 check-ins. Beer Advocate, there was nothing. And this isn't even listed on Tripping Animals' website as of the recording of this video. I was kind of surprised. That's kind of the color I expected it to be. I mean, being a sour ale with peanut butter and jelly, I expected it to kind of be that kind of color, because it seems like all these peanut butter and jelly beers are always this like reddish kind of color. So the first note I get is like jelly, like actually jelly, like a fruit jelly. Not grape jelly, but like a jam, like I guess a raspberry or a generic jelly scent, but then the peanut butter like just follows it on through the door. It's like you get jelly first and then it just turns into peanut butter. And as you keep your nose there inhaling, you just get a constant mix of like peanut and jelly. It smells quite good. Don't get any of that like sour smell that makes me salivate. But I think if I handed this to somebody and said, hey, what's this smell like? They would say it smells like peanut butter and jelly. Again, that color, it's not on the SRM chart. It's kind of almost if you mixed peanut butter and jelly together, but heavier on the jelly, because it's like a brownish reddish color. Kind of odd. And it looks kind of thin, like the color is kind of thin almost around the edges. And it had this real small, just very pinkish, just a very fine pink hue, mainly white head. Well, I hope this beer does a much better job than that charged cherry did. Cheers, everybody. It's light bodied. Oh, it's tart on the verge of sour, actually. Kind of shocked at that. It's tart on the verge of sour. And you get the peanut flavor and this fruity jelly flavor like dancing around on your palate. It's almost like they're fighting with each other to see who can be stronger, and they're in a tie. Because one sip, I wanted to think that the jelly was forward and more pronounced, and the second sip, it's the peanut butter, and the third sip, it's back to like the jelly again. The peanut and jelly flavor just kind of go back and forth. That's kind of wild, because you're getting both the jelly flavor, the fruited jelly flavor, and the peanut butter flavor, the peanut flavor. And they're both not super strong, but they're not hidden either. They're kind of in this like dancing balancing act between each other. And at one point you're picking out the jelly, the next point you're picking out the peanut butter, then you're picking out the jelly again, and it goes back and forth. It's really wild. And then there's that little bit of tart sourness in the back. Let you know you're drinking a sour. And yeah, it's just peanut butter and jelly. As I say, I don't get any real breadiness, but I guess you're not supposed to in this, because it's just peanut butter and jelly. It doesn't say it's a PB&J sandwich or anything like that. But this is really nice. Yeah, it's surprising how much it goes back and forth between the two flavors. Tripping Animals, Mortalis, Kings Brewing, Year 6 floating. I think it was a big horns up. This is a tasty beer, and it's not, with all that being said, it's not cloyingly sweet at all. There's a little bit of sweetness in there. I think the sourness balances it out. I'm even torn on whether this is tart or sour, because at one point I think it's just tart, and the next minute I think it's sour. It's really odd how these flavors just keep going back and forth. Even the tartness to sourness ratio goes back and forth. This is a unique beer. It's definitely interesting, definitely tasty. These three breweries did an excellent job. $6.35, yeah, worth it to me. Have you guys seen this beer? Apparently not very many of you have. Year 6 floating. Do you get tripping animals near you? How about Mortalis? Have you ever heard of Kings Brewing Company? I don't think I've ever heard of Kings Brewing Company, but there's so many breweries out there now. If I've only had one or two beers of theirs, I don't remember it unless they were really, really phenomenal beers. Maybe I have seen Kings, maybe they've been another collab beer, I don't know. But have you seen any of those breweries or any of those beers? Have you seen this beer, like I said? What's your favorite peanut butter and jelly beer? And as always, embrace the adventure.